Game 2. Klop, you won that game, so that means you are considered the higher, I guess, player again, which means that you get to ban another map. Currently out of the pool for this set are Dry Arabia and Altai.
Let's go and ban Hill and Dale.
Okay. David, what map do you want to play on this time?
What's left? Okay, it's Boulder Bay is left. Hideout, Mega Random. Let's go with Mega Random.
Okay. Throwing all the chances to the wind. See what happens.
I feel like we've played enough Mega Randoms to have an idea of what they look like.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 templates that could really pop up. That's about it. By the way, David, Lone Cub says he's got a lot riding on this match. You let me down and there's going to be problems, Dave.
What can I say?
The pressure's high.
I was opposite.
All right. Klop, what civ do you want to ban other than French? Because French or HRE cannot be banned this time.
Well, I'd like to reban French. Let's go ahead and ban Rus, I guess.
Sounds
Not that
good.
It matters.
Yeah,
Oh no, Ruse, my main.
Yeah.
I'll ban Abbasid.
Okay. Wrong choice.
You
All
little
right.
shit. Okay.
Uh-oh. Looks like the odds are looking a little interesting this next game. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, well, once you guys have Mega Random selected and spectate matches or whatever it's called, observe allowed is on, you should be good to go.
Sorry, just pulling up my thing.
All right. Looks like they're in. Maybe the highest skill age we're going to see this year. Okay, this is actually real spicy. All right, let's start this off. On the bottom left, we got klop1324 playing as the Ottomans in teal. And we'll get back to that. On the top, David M1A2 in blue as the French. This is exactly what we expect out of Game 2 here. French being banned in Game 1 means that they're available for him in the next 2 games. Klop, I think, was going to play Abbasid here, but David banned it out. So now we've got an Ottoman pick, and the new civ, people may be less familiar with it, less comfortable with it. We'll see how Klop does here. He definitely is the player in this tournament with the most hours in the game. Should I open and close Age 4 constantly? I don't think you get notifications that... oh, during Steam. On Steam, yeah. Oh, no. I mean, I guess that depends on who you think is the most influenced by distractions, right? Okay. So far, this Mega Random map seems pretty standard. This is very similar to the Mega Random Swilly versus Aloysian that we saw, if you remember, from like a month ago. It's been a long series, been a long tournament. But a little bit of a choke point in the middle, and these stealth forests are actually kind of crazy. Right in the middle of the map here. Could benefit either player, depending on who gets the vision, who gets the outposts. I really want to keep an eye on Klop down there with that Ottoman build order, because that's something that we don't get to see every day. But David, going 3 on gold, 6 on food, and he's palisading with 1, because I think he's afraid of Ottoman spearmen coming out of this military school, which he should be. He should be. We also have a barracks, Dark Age barracks for Klop. Alright. That is not something that you see every day. This is going to be quite a slow game for Klop, I think, at least to start us off, just because of that. Mining camp now on the gold. Remember, we need, correct me if I'm wrong. It would be embarrassing if I was here, chat. 200 gold, 400 food to age up to feudal age. So both players going to need to mine a little bit of that. David already has enough. gold. So he's going to be using the rest of that for researches, maybe to get wheelbarrow. A common upgrade that we see while aging up to feudal age is wheelbarrow. Or maybe that's for some knights, just prepping to get those first knights out. That seems much more likely as the French player. He's having a little trouble getting those sheep to drop off, but there we go. No problem there. As far as positioning here, I think I favor, if it comes down to a base siege, again like last game, I definitely favor David as in the defensive position. He's got like plenty of immovable spawned, you know, aspects of the map here. These forests, we got the water here, we have some cliffs, just kind of forming an arc around his base. There is not too much in the terms of resources back here though in this defensive area. Klop's gonna have to move out maybe to like here and around here for his own walls if he chooses to go that way. Scout spots out the spearmen. They get a couple pokes in, but now at least our blue player knows that they're coming. And I'm wondering right now if this is going to influence David's play at all, because Ottomans can go, at least when they start off here, very heavily into spears. They favor spearmen quite a lot with the military school in the beginning, for raiding, etc. So it's probably going to make those night raids a little bit less effective, a little bit harder to pull off safely. As we have unfortunately 0 votes for Klop in this game, which means that either Lone Cub loses everything if Klop wins to the void, or he just gets his investment back at the end. So, you know, unfortunate for you there. Looks like on the map there's like some vague shallow, yeah, there's like water here, so these guys are going to get their feet wet. Not that that's an in-game mechanic or anything. No fish, though, in the middle. Also, I mean, what's the scouting for these players here? Pretty much, we see most of the map here for both. They're both effective at scouting. Here comes the first knight, and we do have a spearman out. He's going to see this knight pop out, I think. Might... No, David didn't garrison there, so the spearman lives. And the knight's going to have to be careful with these guys with long, pointy sticks. They're looking. There's 3 of them here now. Now, I think Klop, maybe the move here would just be to pressure and deal with it back at home. He's just chasing the knight around. This is something that happens a lot of the time when somebody has knights or cavalry running around. And you just end up chasing them with your infantry, doing very little. So hopefully the tactics are there for Klop. He might just try to sit in the middle of the map and control that area, or he could deploy them near the resources as defensive units for the time being instead of towering. He might... Okay, this is like the path for the gather point that David has set, so he's just sitting right along there. And we've got palisades coming up for Klop around these forests. I think overall, if he can defend all of these locations, all these choke points, definitely is a better position in his base than David. But here's the knight on the wood line. He does pick off a villager already. He was the one that's trying to wall this off, which isn't completely walled still. And David, with the scout and the knight, is going to have plenty of vision, and he's going to pick off another vill here. Unfortunately, attacks 2 separate vills. It actually doesn't get a kill there because those 2 villagers soaked that up with the health bar. Some more knights around here. I think he's just doing some scouting. Not totally sure, or possibly just trying to... maybe that was he waypointed around here and then turned around, was the reason for that weird pathing. They're going to auto-attack the spears. David microwing elsewhere. Takes a few hits. Spearman will take an AFK fight any day, I think, in this matchup. And here's the archery range for David. French love to go knights and then archers, especially in feudal castle age, because that basically counters out every counter unit that the enemy could make, especially if you're strong micro. But for now, it looks like Klop is going to have the right unit composition, which is exclusively spears, his entire unit composition. He's going to be able to hold this off. I would like to see a picket fence here, which is what I guess they're calling it now in the H4 community. Just get those blueprints up so that the units can't run past, and then finish building them later. But now this tower going to be denied for the time being. A couple charges coming through. A villager goes down. And we have 4 villager kills for David. klop kind of bottled up in his own base right now, chasing these knights around. Okay, he's going to get a pick, I think, here. Oh, that's so close. Oh, these knights loses the scout. That's very significant. klop finished building this, but also seems that David snuck a villager back here. I'm going to expect to see a... oh, man, that's crazy. I'm going to expect to see a school of cav. Or a cavalry, you know what the building's called. I don't need to say it. It's fine. Anyways, moving on. There's that wedge rivets, decarbonization. Not quite there yet for that. Those castle edge upgrades, but iron undermesh and bloomery are in. I'm interested on this. I guess the range armor is just for those knights to dive under the TC and the towers a little bit more safely. He did get David royal, I don't know, the upgrade that means that they heal when they're not in combat, so David can just run these guys around. But these spearmen are there's a lot of spearmen here. The archers are coming out now. See if David can effectively you know, take out the spears. So we have a massive wall in the middle. Massive palisade wall for David. More knights are being produced. Just that constant knight production. Horticulture wheelbarrow is in for klop. Nothing else though. And David, which only the military upgrades for the time being. Villager count though is snowballing a little bit in David's favor. And they both have 1 town center, and so the reason for that is that the French, one of the French civ bonuses, comes into play pretty often in 1v1s like this, is that they produce villagers like, I don't know what it is, 25% faster, maybe? It's just fast enough that they can snowball if they don't take any damage with just that 1 TC play. Now these archers, okay, there might be enough archers to take on the spears. And he needs to do it soon, because little does he know, Iron Undermesh is coming through for klop. But the knights are going to have to be careful, and klop should probably fall back for now and wait for that upgrade to be finished. Be a good play from him there. The palisade's still going up. Villagers still being produced. Houses. 53, 41. Out of 70, 60. klop is a little bottled in right now. He's feeling a little bit of the reverse of last game. But he is building more outposts than David did last time. So that will hold off the French aggression for a little while. I'm surprised that klop is not fully walled yet. I think he probably wants a palisade across here. But there's just too much action. So first, Sipahi is out now to deal with these archers. So it looks like klop is going to be leaning into Spearman Sipahi composition. And if he can micro effectively enough, that will work. The only issue, Sipahi are the Ottoman unique version of horsemen. They're just like, they have a couple of weird bonuses and stuff. For example, fortitude, I think, is basically it, and they're more expensive. 50% attack speed and receive 50% damage plus, so 150% of the base the whole time. With melee weapons for 10 seconds. So you're going to need a critical mass, well, you're going to need a few. Sipahi, and hopefully you can run around the knights, kill the archers, while the spearmen are dealing with the knights. It really comes down to micro there. And that's something that French are so good at, just forcing the enemy player, who's up against the French player, to use all their APM in the fight. And it's much easier for the French player to take an engagement like that. It looks like the Sipahi are going to be trapped on the front line for now. Archers getting off a few final volleys, and the French knights are growing in number. klop wants to erase this enemy player from the map just because of the placement of this wood line, I presume. Here's the second TC for our Ottoman player. This is a long feudal age engagement, by the way. Neither player moving on to these fish. I would have liked to see some fishing ships. I always say that every single time there's fish on the map of any game. But I think it's true every time. I guess the margins are pretty slim for these players, both using all of their wood, or archers or spearmen. Sandwich, and I got 1/4 of it left. Hang on. I'm insinuating that I'm going to eat the whole quarter right now. Give me a minute. Major fight here in the middle, and I think Klop is now going to be realizing, wait a minute, I've invested in my economy with this TC, and David has not invested in the economy nearly as much. He's got plenty of units here, and David is going to also realize this is the entire army for Klop. It's time to dive in. Klop going for a couple archers of his own, but not nearly in high enough numbers. This tower goes down. Klop doesn't need the stone anymore. He got what he wanted out of it, I think. And it looks like he's just going to be delaying as much as possible with those units and trying to throw down some more barracks. Maybe some barracks like as far back as possible. Or, I don't know. I don't know what the right placement is for these, but these are going to be denied because David can see them and he has knights. So this is looking like our French player is very much dominant, at least for the time being. Ottomans can snowball pretty hard into the late game. French do not do that well in the late game, so David needs to end it now. Or at least as soon as he possibly can. Taking a lot of fire from these TCs, but the eco is idle for Klop. And it's looking like Lone Cub might get his investment back. We have a counter raid on the stone with Sipahi. Does he activate the ability? No, there's too much else going on the map, so that's very useful. Looks like this villager was cleaned up. It looks like he tried to tower and build a cavalry building, which we have already established. I forgot the name of earlier. Stable. It's a stable. Thank you. David pushed off the stone. He has enough for a TC or a castle, almost. Keep, as it's called in this game. Farming, taking these deer in the middle. This is the advantage of having the map control. Grab all those free resources before you have to do any farming or anything. And Klop actually, what is his food situation? Is it just the landmark food? This is the perfect positioning for this Madras, by the way. This is exactly what most people want out of their Madras. You get these berries, because you can't rotate it. It's kind of a weird one. You get the berries in the top, like, northwestern side, the face of the building. So you want to get that as close to your TC as possible so you can garrison as fast as you can, as possible. You get raided. Sipahi, you're going to get chased down a little bit. It looks like he's just kind of creating a bit of a game for his enemy here. Follow me if you dare. Horsemen are faster than knights, unless the knights are charging. As we do get those... Okay, so it looks like David was not able to lock down that first dive. He had to pull back. And that allows Klop to build even more spears. Gonna lose some more on that stone. I guess he wanted stone for maybe a third TC. As he drops down some farms here. Maybe a keep of his own. Maybe more outpost upgrades, I don't know. But both players actually pushed off of Stoner now, and these guys are really just giving him the runaround. It looks like they ran out of waypoints. And they're gonna fight. I think well, they'll lose this. There's still a full health knight left. They might take one knight off at least. It's gonna be close. There it goes. And David seems not to be like building up too much of a force here. Hey, this, well, he's super low on gold. I wonder if he was pushed off of that from the raiding. Possibly he's just decided to invest in some upgrades. He's also just constantly building knights, so that'll drain it as well. And hasn't really added any more than he started. the game with. We got 5 on gold right now. So this kind of looks, with the amount of food here, like a Castle Age play, but the gold tells a different story. klop on the other side has plenty of gold, no food or stone. No food or wood, so... Oh, and the knights are gonna find this deer. Oh no, at least the farms are down for klop now. We have a Vizier point coming through, which we're not gonna check. Actually, if this game reaches Castle Age, I'll check what Vizier points he's done. I have to like change which overlay we're using, and it gets kind of weird with the graphics, so we'll hold off until then. But I might look for Janissary Company here even, or Anatolian Hills would be great to give him just some more sheep, some more time. We'll see what he chooses. I mean, honestly, any Vizier point here would be good. Now that I think about it, you know, even the maybe not the monk one, maybe not field work as it's called. You get 2 free monks, imams as they are called for this civ. There is quite a force here for klop now, and he's building a ram. I think he wants to take out this forward proxy. Also, these armies now are comparable, and I think klop has held the critical early game where he's the weakest against the French player. He's going to wall off as well. The picket fence coming through, so the knights can't... There's not a gap. Okay. Okay, there's not a gap. They're going to try to path around automatically. He's going to pull him back. Build your count. David's still in 1 TC... second town center coming down in this little, like, weird mega random leg. So, if klop wants to maintain any kind of like catch up or lead, gonna need to get a 3rd town center or some raiding. And it looks like klop loses this fight. David with the archers targeting those spears is gonna do a lot of work. Looks like that micro was there for him. klop probably gonna lose that ram as well. But there's Castle Age for David, and he's gone for the Royal Institute, which is gonna give him it's going to give him some Imperial Age techs in the Castle Age, if he chooses to research them. So, we're looking for Royal Bloodlines here. I wouldn't be surprised to see David save up for Royal Bloodlines. It's kind of the insane French cav. That's how you get them late game. Most of these, I mean, I don't know if we'll see Gambesons for the Arbitraire. Arbitraire? I don't know. I'm not French. You know, any sandwich can be improved by just adding a little tomato on it. That's my take. Also, yeah, now that this game is ending up a little later, we're going to have to start looking at things like relics, things like trade. And just take a look at this. klop, well, I see you controversy, but if klop can defend this frontier, and, well, we do also have another proxy for David coming up here. If he can break through here, I think this trade post going into this corner would be pretty strong for a teal player. David, on the other hand, also has a C trade post here. Could go up to his own corner. We'll probably see that come down, depending on how long this game goes. But, looks like it's going to be Sipahi versus Knights here. David blocking very effectively. And klop is just trying to get behind him. Looks like he's going to make it there. And this engagement could go well for teal. Okay, David pulls the knights back. And I think really what's going to make a difference here is if klop can get to Castle Age and get those crossbows out. Because right now the micro is there for our blue player. Hello, Contra. How you doing?
I don't think Spencer realizes Sipahi are bad into melee units.
Yeah, I mean, he's just trying to use them like horsemen to take out the archers. He doesn't really have much of a better answer than that to archers, but he's not winning the micro battles. So basically, if there's Sipahi fighting knights, then it's already gone wrong for him. But what can you do? Sacred sites as well could be taken by Well, David probably has strong control over 2 of these sacred sites right now. But Klop is just going to keep falling behind, I think, if he doesn't reach that castle age soon. The later the game goes, like I mentioned, as long as the Ottomans don't take too much damage, they will become more and more dominant in this matchup. So, see how it goes. He's holding for now. Going to try to run those Spahi back again. David is looking elsewhere. He's going to lose a lot of archers with the surround from Teal. Sapai will probably go down now too. And here we see Canted Saddles coming through for our blue player. Increase Royal Knight's bonus damage after a charge from +3 to +10. So yeah. Okay, and he did get Royal Bloodlines as well. So these Knights will be kind of untouchable. Knights get a bonus like damage to any hit that they engage in after doing a charge. It's kind of crazy. You don't usually think about that bonus, but there it is. Blacksmith here. I'd like to see another blacksmith maybe for Klop on the top side, but he's really having trouble holding right now, so all the attention is here. And it looks like... Is he making Sipahi? He is. Okay, military schools have both been switched over to Sipahi here for now. Or, sorry, Meter. So the Meter is actually a very powerful, you know... Well, I guess thing. It's a very powerful thing that the Ottomans have. Mechanic, I guess. Unit that will provide one of 3 things right now. 3 bonuses. It looks like we've got... So the UI for us appears to be bugged. It doesn't actually show which one it is. Wait. Okay, I think the on and the off are inverted here. But what's actually going on is attack drums is going to increase attack speed of nearby units. So that's going to be great for archers, for example. But it only applies to units that are in formation. And those deer villagers are just... Whenever you get sent out to the deer here, you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to my death. David has done a great job containing his enemy here. Kind of, a, like I said again, a reverse of last game. I think the meta might make a pretty significant difference here if he can keep them alive. But Knights are in the back of the base, just causing chaos right now. We have a few resources becoming exhausted for David. Gonna have to find some new spots there. But this is looking like the French player doing very well so far in the game. 63 to 84 vills as well. Attack speed mode for meta is always better. Yeah, I mean, again, it depends on if you're trying to take out archers. Like, I think the movement speed bonus plus the Sipahi here would allow him to do a little bit better in those micro battles. Trying to get past the Knights and into the archer lines. But yeah, attack speed probably is what you just want to leave it on at all times, unless you're trying to do something fancy. Looks like David going to be focusing down the meta here. And Klop is almost to castle age. He's trying to save up the food for it right now, I think. No market for him either. Not yet, anyway. Ooh, this is rough. This is rough for Teal. Before this game ends, or anything, because there's a potential that it could end at any point here, depending on how strong the will of our player on the bottom left is. Looks like we've got fieldwork, military campus, fast training, and Anatolian hills. So no matter drums. I'm wondering where did those imams go that he took fieldwork for? I completely missed those. It spawns 2 imams. No idea. Fast training increased military school production, so that's going to help out with keeping up with the unit count. In military campus, he's not actually using, I think, well... I think you could build a 3rd military school right now, but you don't have the stone for it.
I hate French. I hate it so much.
Dude, I was preparing a red palace drop in your base.
I know you were. You balled me off, and that was well played. But
it was the same game as last game.
It was the same, but reversed. Yeah. Incredible.
How did your Sipahi get past my walls? Because I walled everything, and suddenly they were behind me on my stone.
What?
Like the
I
early
ran.
trade
I
that you
just
had.
ran them at you.
I walled everything. Look at my walls. I have walls all the way to my TC.
I must have snuck through before.
But
No,
I
you don't.
walled
You don't
like.
have walls all over your TC. What are you talking about? There's a gigantic ass hole.
But that's where the TC's supposed to kill everything that goes through, and I wouldn't have. I would have gotten an alert
Well,
if you
I
went through there.
shift clicked around. I did not just
Oh.
right click your gold like a moron. I shift clicked around.
But there's. Okay.
Oh man,
Interesting.
what a game.
Once for all the marbles.
This next
you
one is
just-
for all the marbles.
I was not as down as far as I thought I was in Vills, although
It's
your
because
production drop wrecked me.
you were 2 TC, right?
Yeah, but
I was
I-
1 TC until the end, so.
I almost like I was sitting here thinking like he must be on like 4 TCs by now because he's got all this time.
Well, I was 1 TC until about halfway through that game, so I got a really, really late second TC.
Yeah, it was really late. You were just going all pressure up until that point.
Also, what is this map? I got like.
Yeah, I don't know. This was a jank.
I was
map.
tucked away. You were kind of tucked away too, though, with your little hill ridges a little bit. It's hard for me to
Well-
get to your back line.
Yeah, and that was kind of nice. Well, yeah, I don't know. I could have sworn that your eco was better, but apparently not by much.
I mean,
I was struggling on food that
I was
whole
going
game.
Imperial, so.
Well,
it
yeah,
would've
yeah.
been- Like, my eco was okay. Yeah, you were struggling with food. I also was trying to secure all your resources with walls. That's why I walled everything.
I mean,
But, I don't know.
It
Same
wasn't
kind of thing that you were
super
doing last game.
yeah, it was just annoying.